Hi y'all, it's Charlene from the Craftyartshack, and we're back here today with another challenge video. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, so let's get on with the crafts. Let's go! Here we go with DIY number 1. Let's get started. So I have this calendar that has this Hello Fall sign, and I have this pan here that I picked up at the thrift store for, I think I paid $1 for it or something like that. What we're going to do is we are going to take this pan and we are going to turn it into some cute awesomeness. Yeah. So I'm going to get my Mod Podge out, and I've already cut my calendar piece down to the size that I need it. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and spread this Mod Podge all over the bottom of my pan. Now I'm wiping up any excess Mod Podge because I don't want it to make the pan look different in different spaces. So I'm going to put this in there. I'm going to rub it down with my little scraper, and then I am going to get all the air bubbles out. Then after I get that done, I'm going to take and go over the top of this with Mod Podge again, and I'm going to wipe off any excess that got on the edges of the pan. Then I'm going to take this jute twine. I'm not sure where I got that from, and I'm going to go around and put it all the way down around the inside of the pan. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the outside. I thought I would make a little tie for the back of this to hang it from, but I didn't like how that was going to look, so I'm going to take some of this jute cord, cut a little bit longer piece. I'm going to put a lot of glue down and then put a piece of material over it to make it look neat on the backside so it doesn't scratch any walls. I used some of that DAP Rapid Fuse glue and hot glue to put this piece of material on the back to neaten it up. Now that'll dry and you won't even know that there was glue there. It's just wet right now, and that's why it looks the way it does. So it works better if you put the hot glue on the material and then push it down, because then it doesn't cool off so fast before you get a chance to get everything down. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is embellish this with some fall leaves. Now, where I drew my inspiration from was from Teresa over at our Green Acres. So y'all go check her out because she's doing some awesome crafts over there. And now let's get back to this one. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to embellish the top of this with some fall leaves and just make this really, really, really cute. And we're going to see the rest of this one at the final reveal. Now, this is the recreation inspiration. We're supposed to find a crafter that gave us some inspiration on making a project and create one of our own. And today's challenge is hosted by my good friend Amanda over at 6 Kids and a Glue Gun, and myself at the Craftyartshack, Charlene, and Stephanie over at Mama Can Make It. There's also a playlist along with our links, and the playlist are in the description box below. So go check them out because all these ladies are doing and gentlemen are doing some awesome crafts, and you sure don't want to miss it. All right, here we go with DIY number 2. So our next inspiration comes from the Chic Show, Marla, and she did something very similar to this, and I just thought I would recreate it since I found this awesome embroidery hoop, and it is a vintage one for sure. So I'm taking off all the goodies that was on there before and getting it ready for what we're going to do with this craft. Okay, after I finished cleaning it up and getting it ready, I made me a little hanger out of some muslin material. Now the next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to get me out these strips of material. Now that is a lace tablecloth that I cut up, some muslin from the valances that I did for our booth, and these are drop cloth pieces here, and then pieces of burlap laying over there. Now you only need 20 pieces of each. Now if you do 2 colors of burlap, you only need 10 of each. And so you're just going to add them to your little ring just like this. Now your lace is not going to want to stand up straight, and neither is that muslin the more you put on there. But what is going to stand up straight and work really good as a stiff material is when you put on these drop cloth pieces, and when you add your burlap pieces, because they're pretty stiff and they're a lot heavier, and if you're filling up a big wreath like this adds a lot of filler really fast when you use these. And I'm just going to fray the edges of these pieces of drop cloth because I want that look. Now my pattern that I did is I put a piece of muslin, a piece of lace tablecloth, and a piece of drop cloth. Then I took a piece of this burlap, and you're going to take and you're going to fold that like you see me doing here and run it through. Don't try to tie it like I did the first time, because it just takes away from what you're trying to do. And I do go back and dovetail these because I think it just makes them look so much prettier. Now that's pretty thick and pretty stiff, and that's going to hold up a lot of your other material as you go through this project. And then I just started repeating it, and when I get to the piece of burlap, the next time it will be a chocolate piece because I'm doing mine in a two-tone color. Now these pieces are 20 inches long for each piece that I'm putting on there. Now we fast forwarded and I've put all the pieces on here, and so what you see me doing now is those top pieces, I put them where they hung down to the center. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and dovetail these pieces of burlap that I had left over, and you should have, I think it's 4 pieces or 6 pieces or something like that of burlap left over. And hang on, because what I'm getting ready to do is make a messy bow to hang at the top, and you have 4 pieces of burlap left, 2 chocolate and 2 cream color. Then I lay down some muslin and all my pieces of stuff that I have left over. Now you should have had 20 pieces to work with of each kind, and you're going to lay each one of those leftover pieces in this little bundle that you're making for your bow at the top. Then you're going to tie that together really well, and then you're going to take it and add it to the top of your wreath. Now that's the back side of your bow, and you should have already did this. I didn't do it to start with. I should have. Is something on the back side to tie it onto there. So what I'm doing is I'm running a skinny piece of muslin through there so that I can tie it onto my wreath. And I flipped my wreath over and I tied this to the back of my wreath, and then you'll see me flip it back over to the other side, and there we go. Now what you need to do now is fluff that out and trim it up according to the way that you want it to look. And I'm just going through there and tying some extra knots and things and adjusting this to the way I want it to be. And then we're going to add some flowers. So I'm going to take this big sunflower, and I'm just kind of trying to see what I want to put in there right now. But I want this to look really beautiful, so I'm going to use some more expensive leaves off of some stuff that I picked up at a garage sale. And I took 2 of these little bundles. I believe these came from the Dollar Tree either last year or it was part of that stuff that lady gifted me. And so then I'm going to tie those on there. Then I'm going to tie that little leaf on, or glue that little leaf on, and then I'm going to add my sunflower in, and we will see the rest of this at the final reveal. Now here we go with DIY number 3. Now this next creation was inspired by my friend Cindy over at Z9 Designs. Go check her out because she does some awesome crafts. So she made this little box candle, and I thought it was so cute. And I had this from my booth that didn't sell, and we changed over the season. So what I'm going to do is she created a pumpkin out of a box. And so I have these doilies that I got that have different things on them that aren't any good, that don't make them good enough for me to sell in my booth, but they make them good enough for projects like this. And so what I am doing is I'm looking to see how much, and you see I showed you the stain there because it was just, I wouldn't put that in my booth like that. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to measure to see how big I really want to make this. And so I'm going to cut about this much of that doily off and save the rest. So now I'm going to flip it over, put the pretty side on the outside, and start gathering this up all the way around. And I'm going to hot glue that down as I go around it. But right now I'm just stuffing it in there to see what it's going to look like. So here I am. I'm going to put some glue down that I'm going to gather around, and you'll want one of those fingertip things, because if you don't, it does get hot. So I'm kind of figuring out where I want it to be, and I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to stuff the rest down into the box. Now I am not going to put that little candle holder back in there, so we don't have to worry about catching anything on fire, because we're going to turn this into a pumpkin and make something totally different out of it. And so now I'm just going to continue to go all the way around this, and every bit of this will get glued and tucked inside the box. Here's what it looks like once you get everything done, and this is going to be so adorable. Now we got that big old hole we got to deal with. So I found this piece of packing material, and I am going to make a mark so I know where to cut this off at. And because I don't know why I'm cutting that piece off like they did, but I cut it to the wrong height, so I'm going to have to redo this using that other piece. So I go back and I get the longer piece. Now I have this little piece of fence that I want to put on. It's an iron fence, and I bought all these tops for about $1 at the antique mall that I have a booth in now. And so what I'm doing is I'm using my metal knife, or not knife, but my metal ruler to trim off all these excess pieces, because that has a hole in it and it's just going to make it easier for it to stay on there. So I'm cutting that little square out for my little piece to sit right on there, and for me to have something to glue this on with, just like that. And the next thing I did is I cut me some little strips to put over the edge of this piece of foam, because I didn't want the foam to show once I put it down inside this. Now you don't have to do this step if you don't have that type of fence post thing. I just like using different things to make these, I think they call them the stem or the peduncle. If I didn't say that right, I'm sorry, you guys. But I'm going to fill this up with some of that DAP glue, and I'm going to stick it down on there, and boy, does it hold on tight. After I got that piece ready to put in there, what I did is I dropped some hot glue down in there. Then I stuffed this down in there. Now I'm taking the edges of the spatula and stuffing the edges of that material that I put on there down inside of this. Now don't worry about it, because we're going to make this look so fancy, you guys. I love this pumpkin. And thank you, Cindy, for making yours, because this gave me this inspiration to do this. Y'all ever make a piece, and out of all the pieces that you make for that video, you just get that one that you absolutely love? This is it for me. Now this is more of that material that I had left over from those valances. I'm telling you, when you buy those big sheets of stuff like that, it just goes on and on and on for days. So I cut some of it up into little strips, and what you see me doing here is I am making a messy bow to put on this, and Brenda over at Rustic and Lace does these, so go check out her channel, because she can tie them with them on her hand. I can't. So this is my way of making it, and this is the way I do it. I don't think it's right, but you know, I can't. I've watched her and watched her and watched her, but I just can't get that down, and she does such a good job at it. But these are absolutely beautiful little bows, and I think they are absolutely gorgeous made out of this type of material, and this is just going to go just perfect with this. So what I'm going to do is, round the bottom of that fence piece, I am going to take a piece of that muslin that is a little bit wider, and I am going to go all the way around the base and cover up that hot glue that's left over on there, and then I am going to put a real fancy leaf on there. Now when you're trying to make something look high-end, you want to use a higher quality product. And this so happened to be some stuff that I picked up somewhere, it's probably at a garage sale or whatever. I don't know. It was in my bits and bops. And if you don't know what my bits and bops are, and by the way, before I tell you that, see how I just took that heat gun out? Emily over at Farm Charm Chic showed me this, and on one of her videos, she took the heat gun to make that leaf, if it gets crumpled up, to lay flat. You just take your heat gun to it, but you got to be careful because it will melt it. Now, I put the leaf on there. I put my bow on there. Now, I'm going back and add some of this fancy lace that I picked up this week in a bundle of, what were they called? Oh, doilies and linens, antique linens and stuff. And I thought this would make this absolutely gorgeous and just pop. And so I'm going to glue it down in different spots, and then I'm going to put some of these pick berries on, and I'm going to add my little bow on here. And I just take the bow, kind of fluff it out, and then I'll poof it up once I get it on there. And I might do it right here. And then I'm going to add some bling right to the center of it to make this look even fancier. Oh my gosh, I just went all out on this one. I love these pumpkins. This one just turned out so cute. I got on a pumpkin spree this weekend making pumpkins for the booth, because after I made this one, I was like, oh, I could do this and I could do that. And I just kept going. I had so much fun crafting this weekend. Now, to finish this one off, I'm going to tear another piece of that muslin, and I am going to make me a little hang tag for this pumpkin so it can be given as a gift. And that is a vintage lady right there. I'm going to take some of that, and I'm going to take some of that ribbon, or not ribbon, the muslin, and I'm going to make me a little tie for this. And then I'm going to take some of that lace that I put on the pumpkin and put a piece of it on the bottom of this. But I'm going to add, you see me tap my fingers, that means I'm thinking about what I'm going to get next. And so here's the lace that I'm going to add to it, because we want to tie this little tag into the piece that we made so it goes together. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So anyway, we're going to glue the little, I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. Oh, I'm going to get my Alien's tacky glue out, because I wanted this to lay absolutely smooth on this. And then I'm going to take this little piece of, lace, that stuff, and we're going to add it to this, and we're going to put a little bit of hot glue on there, push that up under that piece of material and stick it down. And then we're going to trim up any strings that are on it, and we're going to add this little vintage lady, and it is a sticker. Now, this is the reason why I use the tacky glue, because the tacky glue comes through the material, the sticker sticks to the material, and it kind of just all goes together. And you see I'm going to scrape it on there. That's only because I'm trying to get that glue to come up through to the back of the sticker to add extra adhesive to it. And then I'm going to make me a cute little something. Oh, I'm going to make a cute little bow for this. And all I'm doing is I'm taking a piece of that muslin, wrapping it 3 times, making 3 little strips, and then I'm going to tie me a piece on there, add some bling, and we will see this at the final reveal. Now, at this time, we'd like to thank our subscribers. We love you bunches. We appreciate everything you do for this channel. Although the liking, the sharing, and the big thumbs up, and having conversations with us through the comments. We really enjoy all of that, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We wouldn't be a channel if it wasn't for y'all watching. And so we just want to give you a big thanks. Here we go with the final reveal and all the embellishments. Right, here's our little fall pan hanging sign that Lisa over at Our Green Acres made one for fall or spring or whatever it was that she did. And here is our wreath that we got inspiration from Marla over at the Chic Shack, and I just love this. I put it on this, this is actually a coat rack that is supposed to be hanging up. It's sitting up against my wall right now, but it is going to be hung up, and it'll hold coats, and it'll have this on there. It is so adorable. I love this. Now this is our pride and joy of the day, and this is what inspired me to make pumpkins all day Sunday afternoon. And I just love this, and thank you so much, Cindy, for the inspiration over at Z9 Designs. Beth and I opened up the Chic Shack over at the Avonlea Mall. Go check us out because we've got some awesome stuff over there. And also, if you ever want to know what's going on with our channel, go check out our channel lineup on our community tab page. It'll tell you everything that's going on for that week as far as videos and stuff like that goes. So go check out our page. We'd love to have you join our channel and join our family. And if you like our videos, then share them because we really appreciate it.
Awesome. So you guys, if you like this content, subscribe. Hit that notification bell and give us that big thumbs up because it really helps our channel out. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.